Has now joined the growing number of states giving free health insurance to migrants. This is Medicaid for migrants now, and some Democrats are pushing to expand it in other states. Here's the New York Post again, an op-ed deeming it lunacy for free health insurance for migrants. Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican Louisiana. He's been on the health care issue for years, sir. Good morning to you. Betsy McCoy in that Post piece writes this. In blue state after blue state, Democrats are pushing to give migrants taxpayer-funded health coverage. It's a knife in the back of hardworking Americans who struggle to pay medical bills. You're talking about, in California alone, 760,000 undocumented people. It has a deficit of $68 billion today. I don't know what the cost will be to the state after that. Why would Governor Gavin Newsom do this, Senator?
I'm not sure why he'd do it, but two things come to mind. Medicaid for migrants will be a magnet for more people to come to that state illegally. And the second, remember that good quote by Margaret Thatcher. Socialism is great until you run out of other people's money to spend. They got a $68 billion deficit already. They're going to add another $2 billion with this, and I think that's a very kind of lowball estimate. So both a magnet for people to come illegally as well as running up their state debt. The public policy there doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, and you've studied this policy, and we've talked about this for years with you. There's an argument on the other side that A, illegals don't use the healthcare system like we are used to using it ourselves, and B, if you don't take care of them, it's going to cost you a bigger price tag down the road anyway. What do you say to that?
A couple of things. I did my medical residency in Southern California. They had a hospital there that was, for the uninsured at the time. And it was loaded with people who we kind of perceived to be there illegally. We never asked because we're going to treat them. I'm a doc. You come to me, I'm going to treat you no matter what. But there would be folks coming from Mexico with a note written in Spanish. Please address this condition. Women would come to deliver their babies. They would deliver and then return to Mexico. And all the benefits that go for children would go back with them, aid for dependent children, et cetera. So anyway, they absolutely will receive health care.
Okay, so one last question here. I'm losing your signal just a little bit here. In June, New York came that close to doing it here for New York State, and they backed away from it. But still, even today, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, Vermont, Illinois, Oregon, Washington, they cover migrants in specific age categories. My hunch is on this, that in certain states, this will just become more popular. Do you agree?
Well, doing it for children, at least to give children their childhood vaccinations, can make sense. Because if you don't vaccinate all children, then all children may be susceptible to measles, for example. But to kind of do a carte blanche, it's going to be a magnet. It's going to pull people who otherwise wouldn't come. And that's from around the world. That's not just from Latin America. That's from around the world. And if you don't get that, then you don't really understand people.
Senator, one question here on the border, too. Some are talking about some optimism about some bipartisan deal in the Senate. Do you see that happening?
Well, I'm not sure. It will be bipartisan technically. I'm not sure Democrats want to have the deal. But I am hearing that something may happen. Republicans have been pretty firm on this. Administration, you got some priorities. Let's secure the southern border. No one thinks the Biden administration wants to secure the southern border. By the way, I'll point out, they gave permission to California to give this free health care, but they're trying to stop Governor Abbott in Texas as he's trying to enforce the border to keep people from coming across. That tells you everything you need to know. Republicans are having to drag Democrats screaming to this deal.
New York Times makes the point this morning that some Democrats are putting so much pressure on the White House right now, especially these mayors in blue cities and the governors in blue states, that they might have to give in to Republicans. That would be something if it happens. Senator, thank you.
They'd be giving in to the American people, Bill. That's what they're doing. They're giving in to the American people. They should have done that 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk soon. Bill Cassidy, thank you.